Reactor online. Sensors online. Weapons online. All systems nominal.
Hello everyone, this is Carrie. Today we're going to be looking at the Alpha Strike box set. This one right here is empty. But that's because I don't like dealing with the shrink wrap, and I gotta put my hair down. Hold up. Much better. Anyway, first you have the Chaos Theory book. This is by Brian Young, who, if you listen to the last podcast episode, did a series of short stories called Fox Tales. I don't know what else he's done yet. I am not up to date on Battletech fiction. So, there's that. But yes, and this is a fun little read. It's not very thick. 23 pages. So, and it relates directly to the contents of the box, as the mechs in the box are represented in this little short story. Next up, we have the primer. Now, the primer, it's pretty basic. You get all your factions, gives you all the eras. I want to say there's a map of the inner sphere in here somewhere, because you have to have the map. And I was kind of sad not to see a map with this one, especially because it talks about, they point out that it's in the 32nd century. But there's your map. And I just noticed y'all are looking at all my spices and stuff over there. I apologize. If you look closely, you can see the things to make Korean food. I really like making. So, fun little fact. Next, we have the rulebook. The rulebook is 39 pages. Out of that, I know I should have done homework for this, right? Okay, so actual rules for combat take up 30 pages. Then it gets into scenarios, and it also has rules for developing, has formations, has clan and inner sphere organization system. One thing that I think is really nice in this is I can't find it now, of course. Oh, there we go. For new players, there's a small, what you can almost call a recognition guide, that has each of the mechs that are in the box for the inner sphere and for the clans. Also, I would get to this when we get to the buildings and the cardstock stuff, but somehow I seem to have lost the little baggie that I had that had them in it. Right? Yeah. Oh, one other thing that's really nice in here, it talks about, it actually has the rules for multiple roles. But if you look at this, there are chips that come with it, and they're in a plastic baggie that my cat has probably stolen. And they are for all the movement types and what your TMM is supposed to be. Now, if you're using movement dice, this isn't a big deal. But once again, it sort of gives players, what are they going to need to play the game? But yes, also it does have in here the optional multiple attack rolls. So you do have that as well. This comes in handy. It's not the full rules. If someone's watching this and they're like, I want to get into Alpha Strike, I want to play Battletech, the Alpha Strike thing looks awesome as hell. Great to have. You get mechs, you get this, you get, well, we'll go into the rest of it in a moment. You get all the stuff you need to play the game out of the box, But once you start moving towards, excuse me, once you start moving towards larger forces and stuff like that, and my cat has found a bottle, and start buying force packs and stuff like that, you're going to need the actual rule book, which is Alpha Strike Commander's Edition, which I don't know why I can't remember that. I'm getting old. Also, there is a Alpha Strike Quick Start Rules card. Now, if any of you have purchased a game of Armored Combat or even previous editions of the BattleTech starters, usually something like this comes in it. This is not comprehensive. One of the pages in the Alpha Strike Commander's Edition rulebook is you can print it off, double-sided, and laminate it, and you have a better version of this. But this pretty much covers all of your basics on this side, and then on this side it has special rules for a buildings table, the battlefield support table, and the special abilities that are included in the box. So this, and also is really good for this if you're like sweaty or hot or whatever. For some reason, I can't get the thermostat right in my house, so it's always either too hot or too cold. Anyway. After that, we have some terrain. Yes, I'm wait for the mechs. Well, actually, before I even get to the terrain, let me get to these. These are the, I need to look, battlefield support cards. They specifically say they're for Alpha Strike. And if you look at them, you end up getting 4 each of the cards, which means this box looks like it is totally built for 2 players. You get 2 snipers. Well, 4 in total, but each player would get 2 snipers, 2 thumpers, 2 heavy bombing runs, 2 light bombing runs, 2 heavy strikes, and 2 light strikes. Also, you probably noticed on some of these, like on the sniper, it has this little tiny template, and without fail, there's a little tiny template. That way, and it has all the directions, so let's hope I don't do it with the miniature, right? Alright, so it's a 2-inch template, and I don't know if you can see that well, but it has all the directions, so you place it over the target, like let's say Little Mr. Dasher is where your point of interest is. You place it over top of him, and then you use the scatter, the dice roll to determine scatter. One other thing that I'm going to mention real quick as far as the cutouts, I haven't lost these, but I don't know where the little shits went for movement. You get 3 blue objectives, 3 red objectives. They are kind of a weird shape. I don't know what that's about, but they are useful. And why is my cat looking at me that way? Sometimes things can scare you, right? Like a cat who is apparently bored. And am I missing? Okay, there were pilot cards too, but I don't know where the pilot cards are. I don't use the pilot cards, and they might be in a box. I do apologize. The pilot cards are more for Classic anyway, and I'm here more for the Alpha Strike action, to be honest. These are the mech cards. You get 1 for the Wasp, the Locust, the Blackjack, Phoenix Hawk, Wraith, Archer, Warhammer, Atlas, Firemoth, Pouncer, Nova, Timberwolf, and Warhawk. Really quick going over those, I know. But you get a card for each mech. We're not going to worry about... I'm not going to worry about like showing the card and then showing the mech. You know, we're going to get to all the mechs at the same time. I think that's just easier. So the next thing I want to show you, though, Oh, by the way, you get dice just like every other one. That's not the super important part though. So two things that are really awesome. You get one, two. See if I lost a tree yet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. No, I have not. You get 10 little cardboard trees. And mind you, I've glued mine together. And you get them in various sizes. And they're good enough. They're good enough for starting out. And here's what I mean. Like, if you go and we're going to scroll you down here. Do not mind my mess, please. Okay. Wow, that's a shot. Anyway, a little further. There we go. So, got your trees, right? Throw a Phoenix Hawk in there near them. They scale pretty well. And that's with all the mechs. I mean, like your Atlas is going to be a little bit bigger, but trees are still trees in BattleTech. Doesn't make a huge difference. The other thing is you get buildings. So let's do some deforestation here. Apologize about the dog. It's not mine. It's next door. And we'll put little Mr. Dasher there. Alright, so you get, I want to say 2 of those. Now, let's stand mechs beside buildings, and then that way we'll get an idea for how tall all of these are. Now you get 15 buildings in total. As you can see, I'm just putting them all out here so you can see everything. Okay, these are just the square buildings because they're also rectangles. It's basic, it's simple, but you know what? For what they did, oh, you get 3 of those. Sorry. For what they've done here, it's freaking genius. Like, they're not okay. So as far as cardstock buildings go, these are not like the end all be all of cardstock buildings. There we go. But they are enough to, like give you a good, like a good representation on the table. And I know it's hard to see from that angle. I need to get a better setup. I totally admit that. I know it's hard to see from that angle, but like this building essentially is going to give anybody behind it partial cover. This one, because you're at that blocking 2/3 of the mech, that might be cover. That one's absolutely cover. Same with this one over here. You get 2 of these, 2 of these, 2 of these, and 3 of the tiny ones. Something else that you get is the bigger buildings. The bigger buildings, you get 2 each. 2? Yes. 2 each of this size. Ooh, I did not realize I could do that. 2 each of this size. Let me grab a tape measure. Alright, so I'm back with the tape measure. Before I go running into this, let me get you sizes. The smallest of the small, of which you get 3, are 1.5 by 1.5 by 1. So 1.5 inch square, 1 inch tall. The next size up are 1.5 inch cubes. Next size up, the footprint's 1.5 inches, and it is 2 inches tall. And the last one, the little not quite skyscrapers. Once again, 1 inch square base. There's my cat. Itty, stop it. Mama is going to be mad at you. And it's 3 inches tall. So it's basically a progression of by half an inch, by half an inch, and then by an inch. Do not try to sit in these tiny ass boxes. I will totally, like, I don't know, figure out something. Alright, then we have the rectangles. The rectangles all have the same footprint. Their footprint is 4.25 inches by 3. Alright, so basically almost a 4 by 3. Like essentially what you're looking at on YouTube. Leave it? No, leave it. So this one looks like it is 1.25 inches. You can see it barely hides this. That would get full cover from it. This would get partial. Got it. Thank God. Where's all that sponsorship money go, Carrie? On the floor, apparently. Then we have the bigger building, and this one has had something very heavy set on it, which bothers me. Luckily, I have 2 of them. Voila! This one also did. Itty, did you sit on the... You sat on the box, didn't you? Okay, anyway, as you can see, apparently a cat can sit on it and it will not crush it. Once again, 4 by 3, well, 4.25 by 3. Yep, we're consistent. And height-wise, it is 1.75 inches tall, which means it gives everybody, maybe not him, 2/3 of the model. It's like chest height on him. It might not get cover, but everybody else gets cover from this thing. And of course, there's one that's even taller, which somehow my cat did not sit upon, which gives everybody cover. This one is kind of funny because it almost looks like those are supposed to be internal. I can't tell if those are coming out or going in, because if they're going in, they look like mech bays. There's 4 of them on here. Who knows? Then finally, I've been kind of teasing, but finally, we have the mechs. The thing that y'all have wanted to see probably the most. I did paint them. They are painted up in Unicorn Company colors. Because that's where you are. So, let's start looking at some mechs. First off, the biggest of the biggie boys, the Awesome. What I do like about painting before showing is that you can see all the details better because of the washes. By the way, if any of you are wondering what wash I use, there we go. It is, well, I'll grab it in a second. But it's from Vallejo's Mecha line. And it's really good. Alright, so there's our Atlas. All the way at the other end of the spectrum, you have the Wasp. As you can see, it's very... They're very detailed models. They're well done. The Wasp, I noticed during painting, it has this little leg gun that I don't think is on any of the other Wasps. So I don't know which variant that is, but if anyone out there does, let me know. After that, we have the Archer. This one is a Kurita variant, I believe. I think it has large lasers on the arms. Very big, nasty booger. You see all the detail on it. And I have to get a better video set up as well, to be fair. I apologize for the graininess, but it's what I can do at this moment. So here's the Wraith. This is one of the new models. Everyone was clamoring about it. A lot of jump jets. To be fair, I'm not the biggest fan of this sculpt. It's not bad. Don't get me wrong. It's grown on me since seeing it originally. Originally, when I saw the art for it and the concept, I was just like, yeah, this is not a thing that I like. But give me one sec. But after after actually seeing it in person and now having it painted up, it's not a bad sculpt. It's I don't care for the antenna, but otherwise, it's pretty good. Blackjack. Once again, you can see all the details in it. The amount of detail in this is amazing. Most of the work on this feels like it went into the inner sphere side. The Phoenix Hawk looks like the one from the Force Packs. I mean, it's nothing amazingly special. Pretty standard Phoenix Hawk. I do like it, but it's not like, oh my god, so different. Well, actually, I shouldn't say that. Maybe an equal amount of work went into them, because this looks like the standard Warhammer right here. I don't see... I'm getting shaky. I'm getting old. I don't see anything about this that differentiates it from like what we normally see. You know, it's a Warhammer. It looks like the one that comes in one of the Force Packs? I think so. And then we have the Locust, which does have a new stance, and it's a new weapons loadout. Mine ended up funnily looking up, which looks really good. I'm gonna lean y'all back down. Looks really good if you stand it in front of the Mad Cat, because it looks like it's trying to take on the Mad Cat. But that being said, let's look at the clan mechs. All right, so the Dasher is new variant of the Dasher. Well, it's an old variant, but it's the first time they've done it. This could be the D or the H, I believe. Is it the D? There's a few all laser variants of the Dasher. We just covered that on the podcast, actually. One thing I noticed about the Dasher, if you look at it from the top, one of the guns leans out really heavy off to one side. All the other ones are good, though. So I don't know what was up with that, but yeah. Then you have the Black Hawk or the Nova, one of my favorite mechs. Not my all-time favorite, but this is up there. And this looks like it's the standard one out of the box set. So, nothing special with this, but it's good. The Mad Cat is definitely the box set Mad Cat. It even has the same mold line on the cockpit, the stuff around the cockpit, the supports, the glass support. I don't know what it's called. But around the cockpit, there's a mold line on the Mad Cat that comes in the box set. This one has it. This is the box set Mad Cat. I don't have that one with me, but if I did, yeah, this is it. But then we have two unique ones here as well. We have a Warhawk C, and you can tell it's a C because these two are PPCs. You can see the little ridges in the gun. And these two are definitely large pulse lasers. Beautiful model. It stands slightly taller than the Warhawk, the other one that's available. But that's because this one is actually walking, and the other one, it's more in a slightly squat pose. And finally, we have the little pouncer. The pouncer, if you ever look at the pouncer, it has an interesting history to it. The pouncer is a derivative of the puma, which the cougar also is. And we might have to talk about this in an episode soon, because this is, if I remember correctly, Clan Wolf was like, we kind of want our own version of the puma. Clan Jade Falcon did the same thing with the cougar. And my cat apparently wants attention. Anyway, that has been everything for the box set. What do I think of it? Like looking at everything you get here, what do I think? Okay, first of all, let's just look at the minis. All right, and I know this is so other people have made this comparison as well, but I'm going to make it again. That the minis in the box set, yes, I'm using this as a fan. I am hot now. The minis in the box set are a great value. When you consider an Iron Wind Metals miniature, costs usually around like $15 to $20. So let's say 15, just average at 15, which I know is the low end, but it's kind of spitballing here with this. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. There's $150. Two more 15s. That's another 45. So that is $200 worth of metal. To be fair, in reality, it's probably closer to $250 to $300. But you get these for $89. So when you figure that, that's $90. That's less than 10 per mini. You also get the buildings, you get the trees, you get rules on how to use everything. You get a template. The only thing they don't give you in this is a tape measure and hills. And quite frankly, I mean, they've done an amazing job. So $80 for all of this? Yeah. I don't think that is outside. To put it in perspective, most two-player starter boxes usually run about $100. Don't give you the whole rules. And, give you very little in the way of support. Some more than others. I mean, not everybody is Games Workshop. But, yeah, it's, looking at what you get for your money here, it's a really good deal. And personally, I totally think it's worth it. Am I a big fan of these? Yeah, not really. Master unit list, I feel, makes those superfluous words. But yes, so the off-strike box is a good value. Also, if I recall correctly, I'd have to look. I should have looked before I started doing this. But I believe. Give me a second. I'm gonna be right back through the magic of editing. All right, so I'm back, and I'm at the Master Unit List website. The reason I'm there is because I wanted to go ahead and kind of take a look and see something real quick. So if we start with what we have in this box, right? The Archer can be used by mercenaries. Nope, no Battle Master. The Atlas can be used by mercenaries. I know the Black Hawk can be used by mercenaries. The Mad Cat can be used by mercenaries. The Locust is a mercenary used mech in the Ill Clan. The Pouncer, I want to say, is. Up. Dasher, mercenaries use that. Phoenix Hawk, mercenaries use that. They use Warhammers. They do use Blackjacks. They use Wasps. They do use Wraiths. Let's see, 85 tons. Oh, I have it in alphabetical order. Oh, okay. They do not use the Warhawk. And I want to say, let's see. Pouncer. They use the Pouncer. So the only one that is not used by mercenaries in this box, in the Dark Age, or in the Ill Clan era, sorry, is this. Which means you effectively have, when you buy this box, at your disposal, slide that over for a second. You have 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. If you wanted to start your own little mercenary company, you have at your disposal a heavy slash assault lance with a Warhammer, Mad Cat, Atlas, Archer. You have a medium lance with a Wraith, Black Hawk, Phoenix Hawk, and Blackjack. And then you have a light lance with a Wasp, Locust, Dasher, and Pouncer. Although I think the Pouncer is a medium, but it works as a light. You know what I mean. It's a scouty type mech. But yeah, so the only one that doesn't get used for mercenaries is the Warhawk, which means the Alpha Strike box set gives you some fairly competitive options if you're doing something like, I don't know, playing in a tournament. And you want to build a force quick, you have a large selection here, and you're good to go. So, that is it for today. I really, really do hope that you've enjoyed this. Oh, excuse me. And, you know, I hope that this helps you if you're on the fence. I do want to go ahead. I want to thank all of my patrons. You all are awesome. You make this possible. And without you, this just would not be a thing. I want to thank my sponsor, Fortress Miniatures and Games. If you do want to get this box set, or if you are looking for anything Alpha Strike related, go to their page, search Alpha Strike. You'll have everything you could possibly want. And right now, the box set, if I recall correctly, is $20 off. So it'd be $59.99. Not bad, right? $60 for 12 mechs, that's $3 a mech. Well, 13, it's a baker's dozen. But yeah, so until next time, y'all have a good day, good evening, good whatever it is where you are. This is Carrie, and apparently Itty Bitty Kitty, signing off.
I'm gonna find my meaning, I can make a change, I wanna play the game. You wanna